Bear with me, everybody. We'll get started in just a minute or two. I think everybody's ready to go. Doesn't want to open up. Is there a password for this? Yeah. This may take longer than the meeting itself. Which one are we in? COB.
Yep, this one.
Yes. Special. I think you did. Okay. Let's see what's happier now.
You got it down. Dialogue box. I'm gonna slow you down. Drag that out.
Yes. So doesn't like it.
Oh. There's a problem.
All right.
You want to just go up? I can pull up all the documents. That's the staff report.
And this. Okay. That it?
Yes.
Okay. I believe we're ready to go. Sorry about that. Welcome to the July 2024 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, part 2. Zoning Board of Appeals is a 5-member board, and tonight we have 3 members present constituting a quorum. I will call the roll. Ms. Bucci, Ms. Resnetti, Mr. Donovan is present, Mr. Zlanders and Matzo, thank you, are excused. We didn't have any minutes, did we, to look at? Okay. Quickly explain to you how the meeting works. The applicant come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Tell us about your request for variance, and we probably have some questions for you as well. After you've had a chance to go through all of that, we'll ask anybody present wishing to speak in favor or against, or any comments, and they'll do the same, come to the microphone, state their names and address. After we get all done, we will talk about it. We will discuss the merits, not the merits, well, there's 5 requirements of an area variance. And we'll see how well we match those requirements. I believe we can, where's that agenda? Okay, no minutes. All right, so the first case and only case tonight is for Stephen Janeski, 117 Prospect Street, area variance for 0-foot side setback where 5 feet is a minimum in association with the construction of a deck in the R2 residential 1 and 2 unit dwelling district. Are you the applicant? No, I'm sorry. I'm asking the applicant to come forward and tell us about the request for variance. This is as loud as it gets. It's me. It's the voice is not that great. Staff report, yeah. Yeah, the green button, light up green.
There we go. Hi, Stephen Janeski. I live at 117 Prospect Street in Binghamton, New York. I have owned the house. I bought it in 2007. So I put in a request for a variance because I had a deck started. I was not aware that I needed a building permit. I had sought out friends to help me with it, and they told me it wasn't attached to the house, so it wasn't necessary. It was my ignorance. Once I found that out, I went through the necessary process to obtain a building permit. And at that point, I was told that there was a variance in Binghamton that I was not aware of yet again. So that's where we're at now. There was a deck that was existing on the side of the house that was dilapidated. It was falling apart. So in the process of replacing it, made the decision to extend it out so it's actual usable outdoor space, because if you look at the property, there's not much. It's a small parcel. And based off of the guidance, there's no place on the property that would meet the criteria of being within 5 feet from the property line, or 15 feet, I believe, are some of the other requirements that are there.
Okay. All right, I think we all get a picture. I went and drove by it last month when we had this on the agenda. Do you guys have any questions for the applicant?
Yep. I'm sorry.
I don't think.
I'm sorry.
I don't think
The
Michelle-
recording won't get it if the microphone isn't on.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Was the previous deck up against the chain link fence?
No, it was about 3 feet back. It was previously used as an entrance to the side door.
Right, I
it's
saw
not.
the old staircase on the photo.
Correct.
Are you replacing that staircase, or is it
Uh,
gonna be,
There was going to be stairs going out of the front, which is
Okay.
closer to the Prospect Street side, which would be still within side of the property line for, egress.
is it your intention to put covering around the base of the
Yes,
new deck?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Just to be clear, where will you put the stairs?
So if you are standing on Prospect facing the property,
Yes.
they would be on that side where like the electric
So you
meter.
have to go out like the front door if you were gonna go onto the deck.
No,
that
there's
way?
the side entrance that
Okay,
will come out of the house that would go onto the deck itself.
okay,
And then there would be stairs that would go to the front of
on
the
the
house.
prospects side.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. I drove by it too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for staff. We're here, a building permit was obtained for this? Okay,
Yeah, I just wanted to repeat that on the microphone for the record, that the building department will not issue a building permit until a variance is granted.
okay, and how did this project, it looks like the project's in it's partway through.
Right.
How did it come to an end?
We're issued a stop work order by the building department.
Okay. So I just want to figure out if the variance is granted, it would you'd be able to continue, obviously. If the variance is not granted, what happens to the project?
I imagine he'd have to remove the deck.
Just wanted everybody to know what we're talking about here. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else you need to let us know?
Nothing that I can think of. Like I said, was just trying to, make improvements to the home and to the neighborhood. And, I take ownership of the fact that I didn't get the building permit because I didn't know. And once I did know, everything's been kind of stopped. Not kind of, it's been stopped.
To be honest with you, that's the way we get a lot of cases here,
Yeah,
is people start something and we end up trying to figure it out.
absolutely.
Okay, thanks. If you would hang out for a little bit, we may have questions for you. At this point, I guess we would like to make a motion to open the public hearing for 117 Prospect. Second, all in favor? Aye. And anything else I need to do before we ask people? It is I will make note that this is a secret type 2. Does not require seeker action. Does that require motion?
It wouldn't hurt, but you could make it after the public hearing.
Okay.
I would say you make that motion after the public.
All right, then, with no further ado, I would like to open the floor. Come on up and tell us your name and. Absolutely. Absolutely, sure. Sure.
Kelly, just a reminder that it's 5 minutes maximum per speaker.
Okay. Did it, yeah. 5 minutes or less, if that's the case, per speaker.
Okay, my name is Connie. Oh, okay. You go down. My name is Connie Petrusel.
She turned it on.
You can speak from now on. You just have to get really close to it.
All right,
There you go.
okay. We are asking the zoning district to consider this variance illegal under the code enforcement laws. There must be an allowance for Prospect Street and Maple Street traffic to see in advance traffic coming and going around this corner of Mr. Boyd's property. There is a high rate of traffic in this area, and it is imperative to the safety of Maple Street residents, as well as Prospect Street residents that visit and live in that area, that park on Maple to visit and offer services to the handicapped young lady on Prospect. Due to the increased parking of apartment dwellers that live on Maple Street and park on both sides of the street, it makes it a one-lane situation while traveling the street. These cars also contribute to an unsafe situation for negotiating traffic on the street. Mr. Boyd had a garage torn down, a cement slab poured, and has room for 2 parked vehicles as well as patio furniture and a fire pit. He has plenty It is plenty big enough for his needs that he has created this problem for himself. It seems that he does not agree with how it looks. So he is grabbing at straws. At what price safety for the neighborhood and public? I would think the city would feel sad and shamed for letting this variance go forth and while tragedy occurs, and if a vehicle tragedy occurs. Thank you, Connie Petroselli.
Thanks, Connie. Come on up.
Good afternoon, evening. Refer to you as the board. Refer to you as the board, all of you. Okay, my name's Gary Petroselli, Connie's
Gary.
husband. We've been there at, our address is 15 Maple. And we're next door to Mr. Boyd, one down the hill from him. And I wanted to say, I know you all have driven by and taken pictures and stuff. And I have pictures that actually I took pictures the day before the hearing was originally scheduled, like the 17th, I believe, and it was postponed. And I wanted some pictures to bring, and Mr. Boyd called the police on me. So I got the knock on the door. It's a police officer saying, Mr. Boyd doesn't have, the neighbor says you're harassing him by taking pictures. And it's like, I'm only want the pictures to bring to you to show you that there are many options to his outdoor living space other than that deck. And that, I don't know if you understand, the deck is right to the sidewalk's edge. And the deck has to have railings in the city. Am I correct? Well, I mean, if the deck's 6 foot off the ground and the railing's another 3 foot, and then all his belongings that he has a lot of plants that he will put out there, that even more obstructs the view of coming around that corner. I know that the page fence, you have to keep it cleared of growth so that you can see through it. But if he puts lattice to hide the underneath of his deck, then it even obscures the view more. But my main concern is his application for a building permit for this project is an official document. Am I correct? I mean, it's a document that falsifying isn't you don't make it out to your benefit, fill it out according to what benefits you, right? You should be truthful and honest with every question. Well, there's so many of the questions, I wouldn't know it except for the copy of it's not the permit, it's the application for a permit, his reasons for why he wants to permit. And everyone, I'm not going to say he's lying, but they're all untruths. Every one of those, just about every one of those questions is answered untruthfully. There are options. His property goes back, just say 40 foot. Well, he's got a 40-foot concrete, 8 foot thick or 6 foot thick, beautiful concrete pad that his cars are like I have a Nissan Rogue. They're 12, 13 foot long. They park at the apron or down close to there. And he has 30 something feet of entertainment spots with light. He had a beautiful vinyl fence put up around it. And that was his party area. And it was closest to us. It actually benefits. He's farther from us entertainment wise. You know what I mean? If it was noise and music, by where he's wanting to put his deck would put him right now. He's below our house, our second story windows. That's all. His concrete pad is about the size of your white thing here for an entertainment area. I mean, I worked at Eureka Tent. I know a 20 by 20 tent is a pretty big entertainment area. Well, he's got 38-foot concrete pad. He's gonna need a little of that for his cars, and he usually parks them at the beginning, and it blocks the view of his entertainment. Well, that's all I wanted to say is I mean, I can't show you the ones, I have them on here. The ones I disagree with aren't true. There are options to his plan, which is not there, not on that side of the house, on the side that you already, where you have the room, you have a big concrete pad. If you were smart, maybe you put your deck over your, your garage would be under your deck or something. I don't know. But I want you to understand all of those things put him even closer, closer to me. So I have no, I mean, I kind of like to have more distance between us for privacy and stuff. But what I'm saying is his options, there are options. That deck is on the sidewalk's edge. Something falls off the railing, it's right on the sidewalk or the person on the sidewalk's head. And he's got a lot of plants he wants to put out there. I just want you to be aware that it doesn't improve. We're putting our house on the market and it doesn't improve the value of our home at all. I know I'm overdue, right?
Yep.
I apologize for overdoing it. Just go have a seat. And you're gonna tell me what I do from here, right? Go sit down and you'll fill me in,
If you,
like something.
if
in
you would like
email
to
or-
stick around after we get done with the public hearing, we'll discuss it and come to a decision of what we'd like to do.
Thank you.
And you're all welcome to stay through that.
I am correct. You all have pictures of the area. You don't. need
Yep.
them.
We're good.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Uh,
Is there anyone else present wishing to speak? You're good?
We did
Oh, you do the
receive,
Letter, right?
yeah, we received, 2 letters in favor. One of them asked to have it read into the record, but it was, from Sakovich in favor. She also sent an email, which I'll read because the letter is in, like calligraphy.
Handwriting.
It's cursive, but it's very,
I remember seeing that.
extravagant.
Yeah. I'm jealous of anyone who has good handwriting. Mine is not good.
All right, so we have one from Jennifer McBlain. She's writing on behalf of her neighbor, Stephen Janeski's Halta Construction. She has no qualms with the building of additional outdoor space. His house is situated in a manner that makes meeting the city's requirements difficult or impossible. She appreciates his desire to improve the property. And that's a summary of that one.
Okay.
One that came in today that was not uploaded to Basecamp, we just got it late today, is from Kevin Ingram at 123 Prospect Street. Please approve the request by Mr. Janeski. Setback regulations are valid, but this is an example of how one size does not fit all. No adjoining property is involved, nor is there any intrusion towards anyone else's property. Nor is there any intrusion onto public property, nor are there any safety concerns created by this installation. And the yard is protected by a fence. Indeed, the city should not stop the reconstruction of this deck. And the stoppage is creating a safety issue. And the owner has been denied the use of his property for most of the summer. I know there's one more.
Did we have did I see something the county was supposed to,
We did get county comments. Yes.
239?
Okay, and Sakovich, I would ask you to consider favorably the zoning request for this property. A deck on the side of the house improves the property and neighborhood appearance. It's within the fence line of the property, so it improves the appearance of 2 streets on this corner lot. And then the county Said the planning department has not identified any significant impacts. And they had no they said the site plan should reflect BMTS's comments. I'll go down to BMTS. Given the location of the deck, the city should make sure that there is adequate site distance to and from the property's driveway. So that essentially is the county's comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing no one else wishing to speak in favor or against, I would make a motion to close the public hearing for 117 Prospect. I see a second. All in favor? Aye, okay. Now we can get to our deliberations. So it's five criteria. We're almost back. Usually I go old school and print things out. I did not do that this time or even make my own folder on here, which doesn't require internet. I did not. So thank you, Tito. Come here, little devil. Thank you. Yep, I got it now. Okay. We have to look at 5 criteria. Is it an undesirable change to the neighborhood? Is there a reasonable alternative? Is it a substantial request? Is there an adverse impact on physical or environmental conditions? And was it self-created? So let's start with the undesirable change. In allowing this 0-foot setback on the Maple Street side. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't think it is undesirable.
You do not
I
think
do
it's,
not think it is, no.
I agree. It's essentially replacing what was already in existence.
I would have no problem with replacing what was in existence. I think when constructed and the full height is there of probably 3.5, 4 feet of railing, that's gonna be pretty obtrusive. So I'm leaning towards undesirable. Was there a reasonable alternative, or did the requester consider a reasonable alternative? I think the reasonable alternative would have been to build back what was there.
Well,
Did you guys consider that? Mhm.
Driveway that's there. So there's one thing, cost effective wise and safety wise, to build on top of the concrete, then raise everything up and be significantly closer to the, this one is desirable.
Okay,
So,
so you did look at some alternatives. Okay. Is that okay with you guys? You're
Yeah.
satisfied there?
Yeah.
Is it a substantial request for 0 feet where 5 feet is the minimum?
I think in light of what was there before, it's really not that much of a substantial request.
I agree. I agree.
I agree that it's not that hugely substantial. I think the increase in size makes it more substantial because what was there before was a landing. It was a landing at the top of the stairs.
I have a question for the applicant.
Go right ahead.
Can you tell me about how many more feet you are adding from the pre-existing 3 feet? Okay, so you're going 3 more feet and that's it. And can you guesstimate how many feet from the front sidewalk on Prospect? How many feet is that to the front of your property?
are you talking about like the corner of the Prospect and Maple?
Yeah.
Right, so I would say from, like, what height is the sidewalk, close to the street or?
No, like to your property line, like,
Property line to where the deck is situated,
Okay, okay. All right.
Could we just ask the applicant to come down to the microphone so it's on like record? So we're not having conversation
Okay.
on this side. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is twofold. How many more feet are you adding on to compared to what the pre-existing was? And how many feet from the end of the deck to the front of your property line that hits the front sidewalk on Prospect?
Sure. So it's adding on, I believe I measured today, it's about 3 feet from what was existing. There was also lattice and it was blocked off down below. So any changes, visually are not effective. Like there's nothing different from what was there. Going from the edge of the sidewalk or the fence line back to the front edge of the deck, I would estimate to be around 15 feet or so.
I have
May-
another, oh, sorry.
Okay, no, I mean, it's just pretty obvious from the pictures that there's quite a bit of distance from the end to your property line on front.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
nothing obscuring views.
Marina?
Anything else?
What is your intention for like a banister around? Are you doing something solid? Are you doing something?
My thought was to have something either in a horizontal privacy fence or something that would provide some type of privacy there. But definitely a railing of sorts, if it needs to be, just bars going through, then so be it. But again, it was more so of a privacy thing of doing like a horizontal fence or railing system.
And the horizontal would be from the base of the deck or from the ground up?
From the ground to the base of the deck would be lattice going
Okay.
around, which you can still see through, but it would cover the concrete steps that were falling apart that were there.
Okay.
And then the top would be either a rail, some type of railing system there.
Okay. Are there any specifications for railing within city that he should be aware of if we were to approve this?
Not in the zoning code, in the building code, I'm not an expert on that, but I know they'll have to have if there's a certain height from grade, they'll need a railing. And I don't know the exact number, maybe like
Either
3 feet.
36 or 42
Yeah.
inches for the railing
Yeah.
height.
And Kelly, what's the criteria again for that point?
Um,
Yeah, the
whether it's
last one.
substantial,
Yeah, can you read it again?
whether the requested area variance is substantial.
Okay, so it's only 5 feet difference, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. We want to move on to the next one. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Environmental, I don't think it'll have any effect. Physically, maybe some loss of visual pathway. How do you guys feel?
You said the previous deck had lattice. So I don't think that,
Actually, I stand corrected. It was not lattice. It was vertical planks of wood that were going around, so it was completely blocked off.
okay.
So
So-
whereas now it would be lattice that's going down below.
If there is any obstruction, I think it would probably be minimal, given what was already there.
Keep in mind, it didn't go out to the fence. It was not with,
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
It did at an angle. So because the property line is angled, so when I measured it, the part that is closer to the driveway is wider than, it kind of going up towards the street. So when I would mow the lawn, which I've been doing for nearly 20 years, I would have to either squeeze through or I would just weed whack that area because it was actually touching the fence.
okay,
So it did come to a point there.
there was actually deck.
It was what you were calling a landing. So previously before the garage was taken down and the driveway was poured, there was an existing chain link fence there.
Mhm.
There were an entryway, like a gate there
Mhm.
that would have stairs that came up, and there was a decent sized pad, I'd say maybe like this wide, And then stairs that went up into the house, and then it
Mhm.
was like railings going around the top.
But no deck.
Not so much a deck, but it was extending out from the house, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I believe we're good. Thank you. And last one is pretty simple. Was it self-created? Yes, this situation was self-created. The last question of our criteria is whether or not it was self-created, and yes, it was. So. Any more discussion? Would either of you like to propose a motion?
I'll propose a motion.
And before we vote. Yeah. What we're looking at is the previous.
Yeah,
Right,
we saw that. We were looking at it.
It's on time. Here, right here, right. Right here.
No, yeah, no, you don't
Right
have
here.
this.
Right here.
Oh. It's okay.
Okay.
We saw it.
No, no, the public hearing is closed. We're just, at this point, we're going through our deliberations and we will come to a decision. No, you cannot, sir. You are done. Your time was already given. We listened to you. Now you'll listen to us finish up. Thank you. Yep.
Motion to approve a variance for a 0-foot side setback where 5 feet is the minimum.
Could I get a second for that? All in favor? Aye, aye, and aye. You're on to the next step. Good luck.
Thank you.
Make it look really good.
Planning on
We
it.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks. Hey.